You already know what it is, Mang. We out here in Japan. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing what have I been doing in Japan so far, kind of like an update vlog style video. So right now the borders kind of just started opening up again to visa holders in March, and they're supposed to be opening to tourists pretty soon. So I was pretty nervous about all that, but actually I was able to speed through the process getting the fast track option. You just get this app called My SOS and you upload your paperwork on there. There's like a questionnaire and a written pledge and the negative test. You take pictures of all that and your proof of vaccination. So I flew into Narita. I got there at about 4 p.m. It was rainy, but yeah, as soon as I touched down and got through customs and everything, it felt so nice to be there. And then I took the train to my hostel, which is in Asakusa, which is like sort of a more quiet area. That it's actually the first place I had ever been to in Japan back in 2017, I believe. So it has like a very special place in my heart, and I feel like it's pretty easily accessible from Narita. You just take a quick train, and I had a big luggage and a small roller luggage and then a backpack with me. So the thing about Asakusa though is because it's like sort of a older area, there's only one exit from the train station that has an elevator, and I didn't look at any of this. Basically I had to learn, because of all this stuff, like all of the stations, I had to learn which ones had coin lockers, which ones have exits that have elevators. The exit at Asakusa station that has an elevator is 2B, but it's a lot farther from like Kaminariman, which is this big lantern that leads to Sensoji Temple, and my hostel was like behind Sensoji Temple, so I went out of exit A4, but I had to carry all this luggage. My big luggage was 50 pounds. I had to carry that up at least 2 to 3 flights of stairs, and actually the last flight of stairs someone felt bad for me, this Japanese lady, and she was like, let me help you carry it, but I felt so bad because it was raining, so the steps were wet, and it was just like a big no-no. So if you're gonna go to Asakusa station, or any station actually, I would do some pre-research and figure out which one is like accessible. And when I got out, I immediately saw the Kaminariman gate, and I was like, wow, like I just felt so good. And yeah, so this guy saw me kind of like looking around with all my luggage, and it was these two guys in like these black rice hat looking things, but it's kind of like a head umbrella. And basically they were rickshaw drivers, and they were showing me the map. This guy was kind of like, oh yeah, if you want to do a rickshaw, I can take you to your place with all your luggage and like show you around and stuff like that. And he was super friendly. His name is T-san from the company Ebisuya. I feel like I'll definitely go through them again, but I didn't really know what a rickshaw was like supposed to be around here. Like I thought maybe he would get on a bicycle and then bike me around, but it's like hand pulled, which is pretty crazy. And T-san was super helpful, but he told me all this background about the neighborhood, and there's like the geisha district, kabuki district, and up at Sensoji there's a small bell of time, I think it's what it's called. It's like a 300-year-old bell, I think. There used to be 9 of them around Tokyo, but now there's only 2 left. I think I actually saw the other one too. I think it's in Ueno. Every morning at 6 in the morning the monks come out and they ring the bell, because in the olden days they used to do it every hour, but now they only do it every morning at 6 a.m. Yeah, where I was staying was really quiet, which was super nice. And I ended up going to this ramen place across the street. I didn't go to Lawson. There is a Lawson across the street from where I was staying, which is Kalsan Tokyo Origami. The convenience stores here, if you've ever been, or well, if you come, you have to go. They're called konbinis, and they just have everything. So I knew at some point I was gonna be eating a lot of konbini meals. So I was like, I want to get a real meal today. So I got ramen, and it was pretty good actually, like a 7.5 out of 10, but I have really high standards for ramen. And then the next morning I woke up before 6 to see the bell at 6 o'clock. The only people out there were these older Japanese people, and you're not allowed to take pictures at all at that time because it's like a holy time. So it was really nice to just be a part of that like morning neighborhood wake up, I guess. That was really nice, walking around Asakusa in the morning. And then I kind of got tired, so I ended up sleeping 5 hours that day. And then when I woke up, it was like dinner time. So I was like, where can I have dinner? So I ended up walking to the Skytree, which is just across the bridge. It's about a 20-minute walk, and it was really kind of scenic. And I was staying in a 2-bed private room. It's a bunk bed for 2 nights, so I could leave all my stuff there, didn't have to check out or anything like that, which was super nice. I walked in and I think they were closing at maybe 7 or 8 or something, and one of the first things I saw was this Nichijou cafe. It was like a pop-up, and Nichijou is an anime that I was watching back home. A friend of mine named Divio, shout out to Divio, he's a musician, so he recommended me that show and I love it. So having that be one of the first things I saw, that was a sign. So I was like, I want to eat here, but I wasn't really like hungry enough yet, and I also was like, I want to explore before I eat. So then I went in and it was like the TV character shop area, I guess. Anime, BTS, BT21, all this cool fun stuff, and I guess it's Kirby's 30th anniversary, so there was a lot of stuff for that. There was just so much cool stuff. I had to resist buying all of it because I was like, I just got in this country, I can't buy everything yet. And then I kept going, and then there's like a Tokyo Skytree gift shop kind of thing, and it's just so cute, like the way they do souvenirs and stuff like that. It's like they could have all these anime themed things, but then they make it specifically about the Skytree or specifically about Asakusa, and they do that like all around the country, which is so cute. But if you keep going like horizontally, you'll get to this area that is like 7 floors, and so basically it's like spread out over a horizontal area. It's almost like crossing a bridge, and so like where I came from was separate, like the Nichijou cafe is like separate from all this other stuff over here. So I was like going over here, and then I was like, okay, now I'm ready to eat. I went down on this side because I thought that that's where the Nichijou cafe would be and it would be connected, but you have to like leave the mall if you want to go back to that area. So that's when I got lost and I was like, what's going on? And I ended up not being able to find it. So I went to the food court, which has so many options, and I went to this takoyaki place called Gindao, and they were having Demon Slayer takoyaki, and it came with like a little trading card, and I got Zenitsu, who was my favorite, so I was really excited about that. And then I finally was able to find the area that I came in through, and I went to the Nichijou cafe and I got this little drink that was pink and had boba. And then the next morning I woke up pretty early, so I kind of explored within the hostel. So the 8th floor is like the communal area. There is a really nice view of Sensoji Temple actually. Yeah, and they offer free coffee as well. So I kind of just like sat and had a morning coffee. I stayed 2 nights at Kaosan Tokyo Origami. So then that day I was checking out to go to Kusatsu Onsen. I basically left my big luggage with the people at Kaosan because I was coming back in a couple days after Kusatsu. From Asakusa station again, I took one of the trains to Ueno station. I think it was the Ginza line as well. And Ueno is a much bigger station. It's also like a JR station, so you can get the JR pass there, which is what I was gonna go do in order to get to Kusatsu Onsen. So I brought my roller with me, small roller. I could put that in a 500 yen locker. The biggest one is 700 yen, which probably would have fit my big one as well. Still probably around like 8 a.m. and the JR offices don't open until 10 a.m. So after I dropped off my stuff, I went to Ueno Park, and there's like these beautiful red torii gates that are kind of like the iconic Japanese, like when you think about Japan. And yeah, if you keep going down the hill, there is like this boat pond area, which is so pretty, and you can see the Skytree in the distance, and it's just like a nice little place where nature and like the city meet. So then I was going to meet up with a friend. I found out about her through a hometown friend of mine named Makati. Shout out to Makati Official on Instagram. So he's also yet another musician. So we went to this cute little restaurant cafe. It was like, it's kind of healthy food. So my entire like plate was like green from a salad and matcha, and then I got like this matcha pasta. So yeah, that food was actually really, really good. I would give that like an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. And then I ended up going back to get my JR pass. So I got the 3-day Tokyo wide pass. The lady at the JR office basically explained everything. They're very helpful, and sometimes I feel like the maps, whether it's Google Maps or Apple Maps, it doesn't always have like the correct timetables and everything. So the train ride was really scenic, like country. You're going up into the mountains. I plugged in my guest house into maps. This is another example that the maps aren't really good. I was staying at this place called Kusatsu Kotodama, which is a guest house, and I was staying in a 4-bed mixed dorm. But yeah, when I arrived at Kusatsu Onsen, it was like already raining, so I had an umbrella, but I still had my roller luggage. So I was going to where I thought Kusatsu Kotodama was, but it was actually the main hot springs area, which is called Yubatake. So I went down there. It's down like, it's not like a massive hill, but it's definitely a hill. It's a hill. I went down there and I was like, where is this place? And I ended up going into 7-Eleven and asking this guy for directions, and he showed me on like a real map. He drew me like a little line of where I was going, and basically it was like the opposite direction from where I came from. So basically that night was very chaotic, a lot of walking and in the rain. So it wasn't like a bad time, but it wasn't a good time by any means. Like I got to Kusatsu Onsen around 5 and I probably didn't get to my place around 7. So I was so tired and just like over it. By this point it's dark already too, but I eventually found one of the onsen that I wanted to go to, which is called Otaki no Yu, and it's really out of the way from everything kind of. You're going up and down hills too, and because it's raining, it's like the street is like flooded, so my shoes were like soaking, everything was soaking. But because of that, the onsen was so nice and there really weren't a lot of people there. So Otaki no Yu has an indoor and outdoor bath section, and then they actually have another section called Awaseyu, which is like a tiered different levels of hotness. So there was 4 of them. So 1 is the least hot, I think, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is famous. One of the reasons I wanted to go there is because it's like all the onsen pretty much are tattoo friendly. I've read that at some of the lodgings, like if you go to a hotel or a ryokan, they might not be tattoo friendly. So I won't say everywhere in Kusatsu Onsen is friendly, but those 6 at least you can go to if you have tattoos. That place specifically has the best amenities. It's probably like the most like resort, all-encompassing onsen. So they had like shampoo, body wash, makeup remover, conditioner, foot scrub, and then once you get out they had like Q-tips and all different types of body lotions, hair dryer, and there's even a cafe area and a restaurant, gift shop. And then the next morning I did some more research. I got this pamphlet from the JR station, and they were telling me like 6 different temples to see around the area. So I went to all those temples. It didn't take very long. They're all like kind of clustered together. And then I started onsen hopping after that around midday. So the first one I went to was the farthest away from where I was staying, which was Sai no Kawara. It's actually a hot springs park as well. So Sai no Kawara Park is like the park that leads up to the onsen, and in the park there's like a river of like onsen water sort of, and then there's all these natural foot baths and stuff. It was so gorgeous. And yeah, and then that bath is like an outdoor only bath. So this one, in terms of amenities, has the least amenities. You can't even like wash yourself first. You just have to like dump some of the water on yourself from this like tub before you go in. And then I guess every Fridays they have mixed gender bathing, which I think you wear your bathing suit, but it's supposed to be like family friendly. And then on the walk back, the street that you can take is like main tourist street. Some of the famous ones are these soft boiled eggs, tamago, that they boil using the onsen water. And then another one are these red manju buns, and there's usually some people around. They serve you red manju bun samples as well as green tea samples. There was like this place and there were a bunch of pictures on the wall, so I was like looking at the pictures. So basically I found out it was like a shooting game thing, and you pay 500 yen and you get these like bullets, and then you shoot these things and you get prizes, and that was really fun. And then moving on down that street, there's like a lot more cute little touristy places. There's like a Totoro, Studio Ghibli place. Restaurant finding was really difficult because all the restaurants on the pamphlet that I wanted to go to were all closed for some reason, but I ended up finding one that was open that I ended up getting like soba and some other random stuff, but their logo is like 3 bells. So shout out to them because they were the only restaurant I could find. So that night I just went back to Sai no Kawara again, and I was looking at the illumination. So the Yubatake fields, and then Jizo no Yu, and then Sai no Kawara, they all have like nighttime illuminations. And then the next morning I had a cute little breakfast. This place has like free complimentary teas, and one of the packets were like Nestle matcha. It's like a matcha latte. And then I went more exploring that day, so I went out to go see all the foot baths and hand baths, and then I went to Goza no Yu finally. It's smaller than the other two, the outdoor only and then the Otaki no Yu, but it's like right in the town center, so it's really nice. And then right next door is the Shirama Hata no Yu, I forget, but basically that one next door is like a private one, and it has really milky water. So depending on the different onsen, they have slightly different water. So the Goza no Yu was probably more like saline, less sulfury, and then the Sai no Kawara was probably like a little bit sulfury, and Otaki no Yu is definitely really sulfury. You can like smell it a lot, but because of that, it makes like your skin peel, and it's like very beautifying. And then this day I ended up going to all the private onsen too. So Jizo no Yu and Chio no Yu, and then finally back to Otaki no Yu. So I ended up going to that place twice, and I think that's a great one to finish off on also because they have all the really great skin products and stuff. So I finished up there, I ate at their restaurant. Oh my god, their restaurant was so good. I got this eggplant thing. Eggplant is nasu, and it was like the best meal I've had so far in Japan. I don't know why, but yeah, I usually don't even like rice, but when I ate it, I was like, almost started tearing up. That's how you know it was a good meal. After you finish all 3 onsen, they give you like the certificate. By the way, that pass never expires, so if you like go to one of them and then you leave and you come back in the future, you can like come back and you can still go to the other 2. And then I was taking the train back on the JR trains. Right now what they're doing is like, it's this big booklet and you can go to each station and get stamps. So I was like collecting the stamps. Gunma has a mascot also called Gunma-chan, and there was a lot of like little merch for them in the stations that I was at. And this time I was like scoping out to see which door had the elevators. The Asakusa station for the Toei line, that door is exit A to B, I think. But there's another exit that has an elevator for the Ginza line, and I forget what it's called. I'll show it like on maps here. This evening I went to Shibuya at a sushi conveyor belt place, but I just had no idea where I was going. My maps was not working at all, and Shibuya station is crazy. So there's all these exits, and yeah, basically it was just like a crazy hectic night, and I was like, yeah, to me it's like even more busy than Times Square. I don't know, it was so busy. So I did have fun, and the sushi was so cheap. I got like 4 pieces of salmon, I think, and udon, and a dessert, and potentially more than that, and it was all for 800 yen, which is like $6. That place, I would probably give them, yeah, like a 7.5 out of 10. Oh, also they had like this system where, so usually like when you go in to wait at a restaurant, you just like go and sit in the sitting area, right? But it's like a conveyor belt sitting area, so you can't just like go and pick whatever seat. You have to sit at the seat closest to the door, and then as people get called in, like it's like a moving line of seating, if that makes sense. The next morning I was meeting up with 2 of my friends, and we were doing a glass cutting class, which is kiriko, and oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was so difficult. I made like a hanabi glass, which is like fireworks, and yeah, it's pretty bad, but it was a really fun experience. That's definitely something I would recommend doing if you want sort of a more off the beaten path cultural experience. So yeah, the guy was Japanese, but he spoke English too, so I was able to understand everything, and then my friends were able to understand everything as well. And then we kind of just ate around Asakusa and went to the Skytree, and it was just like a nice, fun, wholesome time. That has been my entire first week in Japan. Oh, also most of my meals have been at 7-Eleven. Shout out to them. That's pretty much my full update. So stay tuned for more upcoming videos with updates as well as some tour guides to some of these places. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!